You suffer because you still expect the world to be fair. You get frustrated because you believe you control everything. But the truth is simple. You don't. We aren't victims of what happens. We're victims of how we react. Want to change your life? Then start by changing your mindset. Think like a Stoic. Live like a silent warrior. Most fail because they act like emotional children. They react, explode, complain. But the Stoic watches, masters, and turns chaos into power. Are you ready to stop being a slave to your emotions? Or will you keep begging for comfort while life drags you along? Today, you'll discover 12 Stoic lessons that can transform your life immediately. If you have the courage to apply them, you will never be the same. Life doesn't wait. Either you harden or you break.
Lesson 1. Control what you can. Let go of the rest. You waste years trying to change what was never yours to control. You try to change people, they stay the same. You try to control outcomes, they slip through your hands. You fight against reality, and reality doesn't care. A Stoic doesn't live in fantasy. A Stoic doesn't beg the universe for mercy. He accepts what is, and he focuses with brutal precision only on what lies within his control. What can you control? Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your mindset in the face of chaos. That's it. That's your kingdom. Outside of that, you own nothing. You don't control the weather. You don't control the economy. You don't control other people's opinions, reactions, or moods. Trying to do so is like shouting at the storm, hoping it calms down. It won't, but you can stand firm like a rock while it rages. Epictetus once said, "There is only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." That's not weakness, that's clarity. That's the power of surrendering to the truth and taking responsibility where it actually matters. When something goes wrong, the ordinary man asks, "Why did this happen to me?" The Stoic asks, "What part of this is mine to master?" This shift changes everything. It removes the chains of expectation. It kills the disease of blame, and it forces you to grow, to rise, to become unshakable in a world addicted to complaining. You want transformation? Start here. Draw the line between what you control and what you don't, and then let go. Because peace doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from releasing what you never needed to hold.
Lesson 2. Emotions are guests. You are the host. Anger knocks. Fear knocks. Doubt, sadness, jealousy, they all come to your door. But here's the Stoic truth. You choose who stays. Most people live as prisoners of their own emotions. They believe every feeling deserves a reaction. They let a moment of rage destroy a decade of discipline. They let fear paralyze their ambition. They let insecurity dictate their worth. But a Stoic sees emotions differently, not as commands, but as signals, temporary, fleeting, uninvited visitors. You don't control that they arrive, but you control whether they take over your home. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not a quote to admire. It's a way to live. A Stoic separates what he feels from what he does. He might feel anger, but he does not act in rage. He might feel fear, but he does not run. He stands still, observes, responds with purpose. The emotional man is a slave. The Stoic man is free, because discipline is freedom, and nothing requires more discipline than mastering your own mind. You don't fight emotions by denying them. You fight by standing still, watching them pass like clouds. You ask, what is this emotion trying to teach me? Is this thought based on reality or reaction? Will this matter in an hour, in a day, in a year? Most emotions are just echoes of old pain, but they fade when you stop feeding them. So next time the storm rises in your chest, pause. Don't speak. Don't strike. Breathe, observe, decide. Because emotions are not your enemy. Losing control to them is. Be the host. Let the guests come and go, but never, ever give them the keys.
Lesson 3. Discomfort is the currency of growth. You want to grow, evolve, become stronger, wiser, untouchable, but you still avoid the one thing that guarantees it: discomfort. Comfort is a liar. It tells you that you're safe. It whispers that you're doing just fine. But deep down, something in you knows you're rotting in place. The Stoics didn't run from discomfort. They walked into it, eyes open, back straight, because they understood what's easy weakens you, what's hard sharpens you. Seneca said, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" This wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It was resilience training, a way to kill fear before fear could take root. Modern minds are addicted to ease, to dopamine, to convenience. They think stress is a disease, when it's often the medicine. They want change, but not the pain that forges it. The Stoic knows, if it's uncomfortable, it's probably necessary. If it's hard to face, it's probably where the treasure is buried. If it terrifies you, that's where you walk. Growth isn't hidden in books. It's hidden in sweat, silence, solitude, suffering. In getting up early when your bed calls louder than your goals. In speaking truth when your voice shakes. In holding discipline when every part of you screams to quit. Comfort will sedate you. Discomfort will build you. The question is simple. Do you want to feel good right now, or do you want to become someone you're proud of? No one becomes a warrior in comfort. No one finds meaning on the couch. You don't grow by avoiding the fire. You grow by standing in it and refusing to burn. So seek discomfort. Train with it. Befriend it. Because every time you choose discomfort, you kill the weaker version of yourself. And that's the price of transformation. Pain now, power later.
Lesson 4. You owe the world nothing, but you owe yourself everything. You were born into a world that expects. It expects your obedience. It expects your conformity. It expects you to play by its rules, quietly, submissively, apologetically. But here's the Stoic reality. You owe the world nothing. Not your silence, not your approval, not your suffering. The world didn't ask you to be born. It didn't consult you before throwing you into chaos, confusion, and constant demand. So stop living as if you're in debt to it. You're not. You don't owe people your time just because they want it. You don't owe society your compliance just because it's convenient. You don't owe anyone your energy, your peace, your path, unless you choose to give it. What you do owe is to yourself.
discipline, purpose, integrity, growth. Not comfort, not entertainment, not approval. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's it. That's the mission. Not to be liked, but to be aligned. Not to fit in, but to live fully. Not to please, but to honor the soul that beats in your chest. You are not here to fulfill anyone's expectations. You are here to live in alignment with your inner code, to sharpen your reason like a blade, to keep your promises to yourself even when no one is watching, to wake up every day and ask, am I being who I was meant to be or who they want me to be? Most people die as strangers to themselves. They lived for applause, not truth, for image, not substance. But the Stoic walks another path. He strips away the noise. He listens to the stillness within. He realizes his only duty is to become who he truly is. You don't need to explain that. You don't need permission for that. You just need to act boldly, daily, relentlessly. Because if you betray yourself to please others, you lose the only thing that was ever really yours. So stand firm, walk your road, own nothing, own everything.
Lesson 5. Memento mori. You could die today. You think you have time. Time to fix things. Time to say what you've been holding in. Time to become who you were meant to be. But that's a lie, a dangerous one. The Stoic lives with one truth carved into his bones. You could die today. Not tomorrow, not next year. Today. And maybe even in the next hour. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. It's not meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you up. Most people walk through life like sleepwalkers. They postpone their dreams, their courage, their honesty until a better time. But death doesn't schedule appointments. It doesn't send a warning. It just arrives. Silent, sudden, final. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We waste it in arguments, in distractions, in gossip, in scrolling endlessly, numbing the mind, in building a life we don't even believe in." But the Stoic lives like a man on borrowed breath. He cherishes each hour. He speaks with intention. He forgives quickly. He acts now because he knows tomorrow is a fantasy. Ask yourself, if today was your last day, would you be proud of how you spent it? Would you be at peace with the words you spoke or the ones you never said? Would you regret the risks you didn't take, the love you didn't give, the truth you buried? Memento mori strips the ego down to the core. It silences excuses. It kills laziness. It forces you to live with fire, not fear. You want transformation? Remember death. Not as a shadow to run from, but as a compass to guide you. Because when you truly accept that you will die, you finally start to live.
Lesson 6. Silence is power. Speak less, do more. In a world obsessed with noise, the Stoic becomes dangerous through silence. Look around. Everyone is talking about their plans, their opinions, their emotions, their outrage, their fantasies of success. But few are listening. Even fewer are acting. Here's the Stoic principle. The more you speak, the more you reveal your weakness. The more you broadcast your intentions, the more diluted your focus becomes. Words are cheap. Silence is expensive because it holds weight, it builds mystery,
It commands respect. It leaves space for discipline to take root. Epictetus taught, "Let silence be your general rule," or say only what is necessary and in few words. That's not just advice, it's a weapon. While others are busy explaining, justifying, oversharing, you move in quiet precision. You rise in the dark. You train when no one claps. You build when no one believes. And when results appear, you don't need to speak. Your life speaks for you. Stoicism kills the need to be seen. You no longer crave validation. You no longer feel the itch to prove anything to anyone. Because the truth is, power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream for attention. It walks into the room and everything shifts. A disciplined tongue is a sign of a trained mind. A quiet man is not empty, he's focused. He saves his words for when they matter. He knows that silence makes his actions louder. His restraint creates space for reflection and precision. Ask yourself, do I speak to release pressure or to add value? Do I listen more than I talk? Do I move in silence or do I bleed energy through constant noise? Talk less, react less, boast nothing, do everything. Because while others drown in noise, the Stoic sharpens his blade in silence.
Lesson 7. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches. A thought enters your mind. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm falling behind. And suddenly, your entire identity collapses around it. But here's the truth. That thought isn't you. It's a whisper, a shadow, a flicker of smoke in a windstorm. And you, the real you, are the one who watches it come and go. Most people live trapped inside their heads. They confuse every anxious thought for reality. Every fear becomes fact. Every doubt becomes destiny. But a Stoic knows better. A Stoic observes the mind like a surgeon, detached, focused, without panic. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And what does that mean exactly? It means you can feel anxious without becoming anxiety. You can feel fear without becoming fear. You can watch a dark thought arise and simply say, "That's not me, that's just noise." The mind is a battlefield, and the enemy is not the world, it's your own unchecked thinking. That little voice telling you to quit, to doubt, to fear, it's not the voice of truth, it's the voice of habit, of survival, of a past that no longer defines you. The Stoic separates thought from self. He learns to sit still and watch. Where did this thought come from? Is this based in truth or emotion? Does this thought move me forward or keep me small? And in that moment of pause, clarity emerges. You are not the storm. You are the mountain beneath it. The thoughts may howl, crash, swirl, but you remain, unmoved, unshaken. Do not trust every thought that visits you. Most of them were born from fear, trauma, or repetition. Question them, challenge them, replace them, not with empty positivity, but with clear awareness. Because the Stoic doesn't fight thoughts with more thoughts. He watches, he understands, and then he chooses action with purpose. You are not broken. Your mind is just noisy. And once you master the ability to observe without reacting, you reclaim control over your life.
Lesson 8. Suffer well or suffer forever. Pain is inevitable. Loss is guaranteed. Disappointment? Certain. But what you do with suffering, that's the battlefield. That's where the Stoic is forged. There are two types of people in this world: those who suffer once and learn, and those who suffer endlessly because they refuse to. The Stoic doesn't ask, "Why me?" He asks, "What now?" He doesn't wallow in self-pity. He turns pain into fuel, not because he enjoys the suffering, but because he understands its value. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." That's not poetry. That's a survival strategy. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Every scar is a page in the manual of your strength. Every heartbreak is a chapter in your transformation. But here's the warning. If you don't suffer consciously, you will suffer constantly. If you don't use your pain, it will use you. If you don't face it head on, it will haunt you in the shadows. And it won't just stay in your mind. It will bleed into your relationships, your discipline, your self-respect. You cannot escape pain, but you can choose its shape. You can suffer as a victim, paralyzed, bitter, broken. Or you can suffer as a warrior, awake, aware, building power with every blow. The Stoic chooses the second. He doesn't hide from the weight, he lifts it. He doesn't avoid the cold, he endures it. He doesn't curse the silence, he studies it. And that mindset rewires him. He no longer fears hard days, he welcomes them, because he knows every ounce of pain accepted without complaint becomes armor. So suffer well, turn agony into clarity, turn setbacks into strategy, turn heartbreak into hard truth, because life will hurt you. But how long it hurts, that's your decision.
Lesson 9. Character over reputation. Who you are when no one's watching. Reputation is noise. Character is substance. One is shaped by opinions, the other is forged in silence. In a world obsessed with image, followers, status, and validation, the Stoic turns inward. He understands that what people think of you is none of your business, because you can't control their perception, but you can control your principle, your honesty, your courage, your choices when there's no one around to clap. Reputation fades, trends change, fame dies, but character, that's eternal. That's what you carry when you're alone. That's what speaks when you're silent. That's what echoes in every decision you make. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Not perform one, not fake one, be one. The weak man curates a version of himself to please the crowd. He says what they want to hear. He hides his truth to avoid judgment. He sells his soul for likes, applause, temporary approval. But the Stoic, he builds his life on a foundation the world can't see. He tells the truth even if it costs him. He keeps his word even when it hurts. He honors his values when no one's watching. Because at the end of the day, when the cameras are off, when the followers disappear, when the noise fades, only one person has to live with you, and that's you. You will look yourself in the mirror. You will know if you lied. You will know if you compromised. You will know if the man you presented is not the man you are. And that truth, that quiet knowing, that's what either destroys or builds your inner peace. So ask yourself, would I still make this choice if no one ever found out? Would I still walk this path if there was no applause? Would I still live this way if it was just me and my conscience? If the answer is yes,
you're building character. If not, you're chasing shadows. So build the kind of life that needs no audience. Let your actions speak in silence. Let your values outlive your name. Because when reputation dies and memory fades, character remains.
Lesson 10. Discipline is freedom in disguise. You think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Sleeping in, skipping the hard stuff, following feelings instead of purpose. But that's not freedom. That's a prison made of comfort. And the Stoic sees it clearly. True freedom doesn't come from indulgence. It comes from discipline, the most misunderstood form of liberation. Because while others are slaves to mood, cravings, and impulse, the Stoic chooses his path and walks it no matter the weather. Discipline isn't punishment. It's not self-denial for the sake of suffering. It's a declaration of power. It says, I own my time. I own my mind. I don't wait for motivation. I move with intention. Seneca once wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he has not been permitted to prove himself." And adversity shows up every morning in the mirror, in the temptation to hit snooze, to delay the work, to eat what numbs you instead of what fuels you, to scroll endlessly instead of sitting in silence with your thoughts. The Stoic doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He doesn't negotiate with laziness. He doesn't look for loopholes or shortcuts. He shows up every day, especially when it's hard, especially when he doesn't feel like it. Because he knows if you only act when it's easy, your life will always be hard. But if you master acting when it's hard, your life becomes powerful beyond belief. Discipline isn't rigid, it's focused. It doesn't mean you never rest. It means you rest with purpose, not as an escape, but as recovery. The modern world sells comfort as happiness, but Stoicism knows the truth. Comfort kills potential. Discipline awakens it. So make your bed, write the words, lift the weight. Say no to what weakens you. Say yes to the fire that forges you. Because when you build a life on discipline, you no longer need permission to feel free.
Lesson 11. Focus on what you can give, not what you deserve. Modern society is obsessed with entitlement. Why am I not getting what I deserve? Why don't people treat me the way I want? Why isn't life giving me more? But Stoicism doesn't waste energy chasing fairness. The Stoic asks a better question. What can I give? You were not born to be served. You were born to serve something greater than your ego, whether it's your principles, your work, your family, or your mission. Meaning is found in contribution, not in compensation. Epictetus said, "Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well." That includes how people treat you, how the world responds to your effort, how little recognition you might receive for doing the right thing. The Stoic gives without expectation. He works without begging for applause. He leads without demanding obedience, because his reward is in the act itself, not the outcome. You think you deserve love? Give love first. You want respect? Live respectably. You want success? Show up, build, repeat, without whining about how unfair the game is. The universe doesn't owe you clarity, closure, or comfort, but you owe the world your integrity, your discipline, your presence, especially when it's hard. This mindset makes you unbreakable because no one can take away what you freely offer. No one can manipulate you when you expect nothing. And no one can enslave a soul that gives from a place of strength, not desperation. Entitlement is weakness dressed in victimhood. Generosity, even when unseen, even when unreciprocated, is strength forged in character. So flip the script. Stop asking, "What do I get out of this?" and start asking, "What am I building by doing this?" Because legacy isn't built by what you take. It's built by what you give when no one's watching.
Lesson 12. Don't let external chaos control your inner peace. Do you know what the real test of inner strength is? It's when everything around you seems to be falling apart, but inside, you stay steady, calm, at peace. While the world screams, you choose silence. While others react with anger, you choose reason. While chaos tries to invade your mind, you raise invisible walls of serenity. No, this isn't indifference. It's wisdom. It's self-control. But how do you get to this point? How do you stay calm when everything around wants to throw you off balance? The Stoics teach us, it's not the events that disturb us, but how we react to them. And that changes everything. You can't control traffic, but you can control impatience. You can't control criticism, but you can control your response. You can't control time, others, or fate, but you control your mind, and the mind is your temple. When you understand this, life changes. You stop giving power to external things and start anchoring yourself in something much stronger, your inner balance. Imagine a stormy sea, huge waves, strong winds, thunder. But deep down in the ocean, absolute silence, complete calm. That's a trained mind. While the world stirs on the surface, inside, you are the deep ocean. And do you know what's most powerful? You can train this every single day. And it starts with a choice. When you feel the world is collapsing, breathe. Notice what you feel without clinging to it. Question your thoughts. Choose the most sensible response, not the most impulsive. You don't have to react to everything, nor justify yourself to everyone, nor carry burdens that aren't yours. You just need to remember, your peace is your responsibility. The world can stay at war, but inside you, there can be peace. That is true freedom.
Now that you've discovered these 12 Stoic lessons, the choice is yours. You can click away and go back to life as usual, or you can take the first step toward real transformation. Remember, Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to admire, it's a way of life to embody. Start small. Start now. Master your thoughts. Control your emotions, and above all, stop waiting for the world to change. Change yourself first. Because true freedom doesn't come from the outside, it begins within. If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful content like this. Your journey has just begun.